and you're like, man, it's hot. What the fuck are they wearing? But yeah, it is what it is. You figure it out when you're here for a few years that that's kind of the way it is. Now, you remember Sophie Cunningham just a few years ago was a member of the Phoenix Mercury. And she was liked when she was a member of the Phoenix Mercury. And there were rumors also that she was having a relationship with one of the executives.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's kind of wild.
So, but I can tell you, there was a lot of hate during the game directed at Sophie and at Caitlin. Just the yelling, people didn't like. I would say that Caitlin acts like a coach. So she was actively engaged. She just wasn't sitting on the bench. She was actively engaged. And the refs sucked for both sides. They were absolutely awful, as usual. And she did walk out on the court during timeouts and have conversation with the refs. And then you heard it from the Phoenix fans. They were very upset about that. Like, go back to the bench. You're not a good, just loud, angry people, you know. And especially with the Sophie thing and the pointing, which has become like probably the best meme of all time so far, at least the best meme for this year for the WNBA. And I'll say this, and Dawn can get mad at me, but Sophie can point at me anytime she wants. She's hot.
I think that's kind of the mystique.
Yeah, I
with
said
her.
that we had a conversation about that after the game. I'm like, you just mad because I like Sophie and I think she's hot. Well, she is younger. Like, look, I'm not expecting a date here. You know what I mean? But she's not 18.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I can, like, she's of an age that it's all right for me to, like, ogle her a little bit. You know what I mean? And I love how she plays the game.
Yeah.
And when you put those two things together, hot and athletic, that just really pisses people off. Like, how did you hit the lottery in life?
Yeah,
you know, you're supposed to be, you know, if you're just good but you're ugly, then people can handle that.
Yeah, you're not alone in the in that space. That's like part of the reason why she has like gotten as popular as she does is because she is attractive. I mean,
yeah, dude, it's a thing. I mean, I'm sorry, it just is in sports. If it wasn't, then women's professional volleyball, they would be wearing different outfits. They would be maybe wearing more of the type of outfits that they wear in college, which are still, you know, than bikinis. But I mean, are you really watching women's volleyball for the volleyball?
I'm not. I mean, that's just me.
And you're not searching it out usually, but if it's on, you know, you might glance up at it. You know what I'm saying?
Take
it's
a little
not
peek.
A terrible thing.
Yeah, a little peeksies here
We're
and there.
fucking men. Like we're supposed to not notice that shit now. Is that a thing? I don't think so. That's never gonna work for me.
We're supposed to castrate our minds.
Mm-hmm. And she's outspoken. She hit some big shots at the very, very end. And the Indiana Fever were able to pull that game out at the last second. So it was really, really good game. I just, how do I want to say it? The Phoenix Mercury, they're just not deep. They're just not deep. You know, their core group of players. There was one time out on the court that there wasn't a single player that was one of the top 5 players on the roster out on the court.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you supposed to do with this? I mean, yeah, when a coach goes deeper into the roster, he's usually not taking out all starting 5 people, right?
Yeah, normally.
Or something like that, yeah. And you need to accommodate for that, but we'll see what happens going in. I think their WNBA All-Star game is it this coming week, maybe?
I'm not.
It's very, very soon, and even Major League Baseball, the All-Star game's coming up too, right?
Yeah, that's real soon. I'm not too sure about.
Did you
WNBA.
see Ohtani's not going to be participating in the All-Star game?
I did not see that actually. Is there a specific reason for that?
Yeah, just started happened last night. They're attributing it to something going on in his leg that's related to when he pitches. So some type of movement that he's doing, something in his mechanics is causing him some discomfort, and they want to fix that. And now they have time to get him some different treatments for that leg, and they're going to use this downtime to do that because, team first. That's what they said.
Well, they're also paying him $1 billion, so
Yeah.
that might be a
Yeah,
big
his
reason.
first obligation should be to the Dodgers. And so I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with, though, is a lot of these players, it happens in the NBA too, that just way too many mental days or just saving somebody, for the season. So they're going to sit out this game, because maybe there's back-to-backs. Jordan never did that, ever.
Yeah.
Like, never did that. Now, I'm not saying he never missed a game. I'm saying he never used any of that as an excuse and did play hurt or sick many, many times. And his view was like other greats. He wasn't the first great to say it. It had been said by others. I'm old. I know this, that more than one player has said this before. But they were all great players that said it. And that was, there might be somebody at that game, some dad bringing his kid, and that's going to be the first and only time that they're going to get to see him play. And he just felt an obligation to be out on the floor, to not take a break because you're playing the Wizards, or something like that. And I'm totally for that. I'm totally for playing, through shit. But I'm also for, we have things that are available now that should be available to the players, some peptides that can assist in healing. They're not, unless you consider healing to be performance enhancement, you know what I mean? But it would be something you only use, like the BPC 157 and TB 500, two great peptides for healing. They would be something that, I think that the league should look at in approving, so that you can have you're treating these players with other treatments. Why can that not be a legit treatment as well? Again, because it's not performance enhancing. It's not growth hormone. It's not, related to testosterone or anything in that way. Just really related to cutting the healing time in half. And, you mentioned how much Ohtani's getting, and, that's a thing. That look, with the money that you're paying them, they need to be out there, and the fans deserve it. So there definitely a lot of fans that were disappointed in Caitlin Clark not being there in Phoenix. Well, she was there, but not playing in the game against Phoenix because she was hurt last year. She didn't play at Phoenix last year.
Yeah,
because she was hurt. But people are buy tickets specifically to come and see her play, and then then she's not out there. Now, I get it. But if this is that difficult for these girls to get through a 44 game season, how are they going to get through a 50 game season? Because that's what the plan is. The plan is to increase the number of games, I believe, starting next year.
Okay. I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, they're planning on doing that. So I don't know how they're going to do that. I got a little funny aside when it comes to the WNBA. Last night, we were watching the Toronto Tempo game, okay? And it was in Toronto. And first of all, they have the worst logo of any WNBA team or almost any sports team. It's like the most basic tee that you'll ever see, right? And it just, the tempo, the tee is inside of a basketball. The basketball kind of almost looks like a comet. I don't know, but it's not a great logo. And they had this blue that they were wearing, and then the Temple's main color is like this maroon, and almost a maroon and pink or something, but this maroon, and that's what's on the floor. And I don't know why what they're doing. They're the Toronto Tempo, and last night I didn't look it up why, but they were playing in Montreal.
Okay.
And they're playing in Montreal the next game too, for whatever reason.
Yeah, that is odd.
Dude, I don't know.
That's not Toronto.
But one thing I noticed that I hadn't noticed before is one of the big sponsors that's listed on the floor itself on the outer edge, and you see it where you see the main announcers. So you're kind of looking across the floor. There's the announcers right there, and in front of them, in front of their table, is a logo, and that logo, that company, was Sephora.
The makeup company?
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand.
And why don't you understand? Because it's probably the reason I don't understand.
Yeah, it's not. I don't get that at all, to be honest with you.
Very rarely I discussed that there was a little bit of a promotion that the league put together, and it was a promotion of Caitlyn, and it had other players commenting, and Caitlyn was actually wearing makeup. Now her eyebrows were somebody didn't do them evenly, was kind of weird. Angel Reese looks normal in makeup because she wears makeup. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's a girl, but she's a good player, but she's
a lot more girly,
feminine. She's more like girly like that, right? There's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm not complaining. No, more power to you, babe. That's good. But just in general, you don't see, even when the girls are in street clothes on the bench, most of the time they're not wearing makeup. I get not wearing makeup in the game, but some do. Sabali wears this bright red lipstick like during a game.
Well, I mean, they got a brand off the court just as much as they do on the court.
Too, but like of all things, Sephora, the WNBA is going to sell more makeup for you. That's a good use of your dollars for promotion. The WNBA?
I don't think so.
You see what I'm saying? Isn't it odd?
I mean, I understand, they're girls, and girls plus makeup usually equals, it makes sense, but that's not the case we're in here. A lot of them are going to be more tomboyish, and they're not going to want to wear makeup because they're fucking sweating 24/7 from training and fucking playing.
Yeah. Yeah. My daughter's beautiful. She wears light makeup and she looks fantastic, and she was all girl, very athletic, but all girl too, besides being athletic. She wasn't a tomboy.
Yeah.
That wasn't her thing. And I don't have any issue with a girl being more like a tomboy when they're younger. That was never I never took that as a negative on that as a girl. Usually it meant she was very athletic, and at least for a time it can happen, but at that age where she could be as good as the boys.
Yeah.
Until the different changes would happen and stuff like that. And,
for sure.
And people change. My sister changed, I think my mom used to have to drag her to the, to go take a bath or something like that. But she reached a certain age where all that started to matter. You know what I mean? People, they're kids. They change. Things it just is.
Nowadays, tomboy would be that's just called trans, apparently. That's what that would be classified as.
You know what? They would start treating them like that and maybe trying to convince them that that's what they are, when it never was. It was never like that. It was just a period of time when, they just were wearing jeans and sneakers and not dresses.
That was just a regular part of life. That was just it wasn't any certain thing. It's just, oh, she doesn't want to be a girly girl. Okay, whatever. That's not a big deal. But now they're like, oh, do you feel like a man on the inside? Is that why you do this? This 12-year-old? Is that how you feel?
Right. They start grooming them. It's crazy. But yeah, Sephora, of all people, as a sponsor.
Well, I'm willing to bet maybe the WNBA knows that that's not their bread and butter in terms of their demographic, but I feel like Sephora probably paid a fuck ton of money, and they're like, well, we'd be stupid not to take this.
Well, in the LA Spark game last night, which was the second game, guess who was there?
Who?
Kamala.
Oh God. Oh
With
God.
her husband.
Did the Sparks win or lose?
The Sparks won. Did the Sparks win?
I can look it up
I
real
don't know,
quick.
dude. I was fading in and out, but I'm pretty sure the
I just want if they lost, I just wanted to blame it on her.
The Sparks won. No, the Sparks won.
Oh damn.
It was a good game, but at the end, they were, they were playing. What the fuck were they playing? The Dallas Wings. You know who looked really fucking good last night?
Who's that?
Hitting everything was Paige Beckers. She looked like Caitlin should look.
The Sparks played the Sky last night.
Sky, okay.
Yeah, and then the Wings played the Tempo.
The Wings played the Tempo. Okay, I had it reversed there.
That's all right.
But anyways, the Wings look great. The only one that really looked good for the Tempo is Marbury.
I'm not too familiar with that. Is that Stefan?
Marbury. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was about to say, like that Stefan Marbury's daughter?
Marbury. No, she's
sick.
a white girl.
Oh, well,
she's not mixed. And
Darn.
she's really good, and she's tough, and she's very physical as well, but great leader, veteran, great shot. But Paige Becker was all over it. And then Aziz Fudd, who started out slow, started nailing everything, and they just couldn't hang anymore.
Yeah.
So that was that. But the LA Sparks still don't have Plum, but they're still a pretty solid team. You know, that maybe they can't beat the number 1 or number 2 team without having Plum, but they can still be very competitive.
That is signs of a good team, though. Is if you're missing your best player and you're still able to win games, like that means you're.
They haven't been able to win enough without her.
Oh,
it's been not good, but they're still decent. And when they're playing another team that's not that good, they can still do it.
Oh well,
just individual players. Just watching that and whatever, that was good. Dawn did have an interesting question, though, because when it was first presented that Caitlin Clark wasn't going to play, it was shown on TV that coach's decision.
What do you mean, like the coach's decision?
For her not to play
against
the Mercury.
Oh, okay. Really? So they didn't cite an injury or like even just rest?
Kinda. They did later. Kinda cited the rest and the, bringing her back slowly or all the bullshit. But people had to wonder then that you're playing the Phoenix Mercury that you had gotten into it with. Is that related to the reason she's not playing in that game?
Yeah,
not be a target.
True. I wasn't honestly. I was thinking about like how Caitlin and her coach have been like kind of butting heads a little bit throughout the course of this year, but that would make sense too. Like why? I don't know.
It was at least a good question. I thought Dawn posed.
Yeah, because especially if you're not like outright, oh, she's hurt, she can't play. It's a coach's decision.
Yeah, and then what's this shit? Why is Congress getting involved in the WNBA? I saw this too.
That's a great question.
We're going to talk about this. Yes, roll it down a little bit for me. 11 Republican U.S. representatives have called upon the WNBA to take accountability for multiple attacks against Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark. Released on Wednesday, the letter spearheaded by Representative August Pfluger. That's what it looks like, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Demanded that the WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, investigate why Caitlin Clark has been allegedly subject to unnecessary physical hostility and violence. And I got to tell you, last night's game, there were some hits where people got hit hard on a screen or something and laid down and
maybe lowered that shoulder just a little bit more.
It's league wide that they just don't control it, and I mean, it's not really a thing anymore in the NBA technically you're not allowed to hand check anymore, right?
Not really, no. I feel like that's it, a lot of it comes down to enforcement on the referees. Like,
but in women, it's standard.
yeah,
It's standard to hand check.
mm-hmm.
And then every once in a while, you got the defender pushing them, and the offensive player will swipe the arm away, and then they'll call a penalty on the offensive player. Well, you could have called a penalty on the defender too.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just no consistency there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the consistency is not good. The letter comes weeks after the Mercury star Alyssa Thomas punched Caitlin Clark in the throat while the two were entangled. I really don't like the person who wrote this, whatever their name is, whatever that journalist is. It really wasn't a punch to the throat.
Yeah,
it was more of a push on the throat where the fist was placed there, and then she was using that to stabilize herself and push up, which I'm not saying is a great thing to do, but to call it a punch in the throat, I think is wrong too. That leads to the wrong conclusion. We don't have to lie about this stuff.
No, we don't.
Can just call it exactly what it is and still think it was unnecessary, right?
It was on live TV.
Yes. Phoenix is Alyssa Thomas kneed Clark in the groin area several times while Clark was on the ground, even when Clark had already passed the ball off to her teammate. And there was no play near Clark and Thomas. To make matters worse, Thomas then jammed her fist into the neck. That was fair to say. As she got up from the floor, then she kicked at Clark's legs as she got up and stepped over top of her. She stepped over top of her for sure. Clark later left the game, and it remains unknown whether it resulted from Thomas. It was her back, so I don't know. And then the Phoenix Mercury weren't very smart in their marketing department and shared a stick figure on X with the caption, "To want a piece of this," which was really stupid. Like, you really have an idiot for a marketing person. And not only should that idiot take accountability, whoever the manager is of that department should take accountability for that too, because that was just stupid. And I don't think they ever really said much about it other than taking it down. Is there more on that? I'm still trying to figure out. In the letter, the Republican lawmakers said they were concerned by reports that attacks against Clark may be racially motivated. Maybe. I do think there's a racial component going on. And gender, sexuality.
Yeah.
That's included in there too. But I really don't understand what the Congress thinks they can do about it, or should they do about it. That's just, I don't want Congress messing around with my sports very much. You know what I mean?
I think most people would be okay if we didn't have so much politics in sports.
Right.
Honestly, those two things should be completely separate on every account.
Well, most accounts. I mean, I think when you're talking about the NIL and you're talking about public universities and how much money is being spent to have certain guidelines, for the NIL money, I think that's fair. And for Congress to kind of be involved in, again, because it's state money, federal money, tax money going to universities as well. But something like this, absolutely not. Like this, I don't want them involved.
I mean, I definitely agree. Like, I think you'd be acting just willfully blind at this point if you said that there wasn't any racial bias, sexual orientation bias, because it's very clear. Like, why is it just her? It's always just her. If it was everybody all the time, like, it just seems like it's her.
I think it happens with other straight white girls, and then I think that there is a racial element of some white people. There was a guy that sat next to me after the game on Thursday. Dawn and I went to the casino, and so conversation came up because we're still wearing our Fever stuff, and people asked, and the guy next to me made some comments that were racial. in nature about, Alyssa Thomas stuff. And I flat said it sounds like you're a racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's specific. She's mixed, isn't she, Alyssa Thomas?
I don't know.
Oh, well, either way, I mean, she's definitely not.
But he made a
white.
generalization of black people that was not appropriate. You kind of know those people.
Oh God,
kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Somebody had a few extra drinks more than normal.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And after he got up, because he was annoying me like fuck, he went to the blackjack table, and then he kept wanting to drink. And Mike, the pit boss, was trying to get the waitress over, and she's very good. She's really one of the best there. And I'm trying to say, Mike, what the dude needs is an Uber, is what he needs. He doesn't need another beer. He needs an Uber. And then we had another guy that sat down, an Asian guy, that the last time I saw him, he was removed from the casino because he was so drunk.
Damn.
Yeah.
But
he drops a lot of money. And like he might lose $10,000 in a night.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
God.
I don't know where he gets his money, what he does. His name is Danny. And then like he was touching Dawn and reaching and trying to touch me, and I was ahead 500. Dawn was ahead a couple $100. We just colored out and left.
Yeah.
And they knew, the staff knew that wasn't a cool thing, but I get it that they want his money, and he's betting a lot more than what I am, but that's not cool. No, you really have to control that, because I shouldn't have to leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
I shouldn't have to leave because somebody else is just so over the top. And it's not my job to control them, because what happens if I control them? Then somebody's going to get fucking hit.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Because I have yelled at people at the table before and told them to fuck off, or like we can walk outside, because you could be a kung fu expert. If you're drunk and you want to fuck with me, you are going to get hurt very badly.
Oh yeah,
it's like anybody's like, I don't know why they think like you really want to be sober when you get into an altercation with me.
Yeah, the belligerence. It's like once somebody's getting to a point where they're just so belligerent that they're making other guests their time unenjoyable, uncomfortable. That's when you know it's like, okay, for the better of the business, this one guy just needs to leave. He can come back tomorrow, but he's got to go right now.
Yeah, 100%. 100% with that. So, okay. Spurs. Let's continue on with this, because I thought this was really weird, because we've had some crazy stuff, with Rossini and the coach of the Patriots, and affairs.
Yeah, we've had our fair share. Yeah, her and Mike Vrabel, and that's still not done, by the way.
I like Mike Vrabel, but should he lose his job over it? I don't know.
Absolutely not.
Well, but this guy shouldn't lose his job being an announcer. Jacob Toby reportedly has been relieved of his duties after 2 seasons. Good-looking young guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would, in the most straight way possible. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I don't think that's gay. Yeah, no, he's a good-looking guy.
This is funny.
Yeah. And Jacob Toby served as the Spurs play-by-play television announcer for the past 2 seasons. He got fired after accusations of having an affair with the sister of a San Antonio player circulated the internet this week. Oh, and this was great, too. Like, women are so fucking bitter, man. Like, this did not surprise me at all. Late Tuesday night, a post appeared on Toby's Instagram story that read, "This is my girlfriend of 6 years, but I cheated on her with Lauren Waters. So feel free." No, that you moved too fast.
Sorry.
"So feel free to continue following me if you really think I'm a good guy, because I'm not." And the next post was a photo of Toby sitting next to Waters, the sister of Spurs forward Lindy Waters III. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's just like a story on Instagram, but that I'm willing to bet that, yeah, his lady got into his phone.
She did.
100%.
She admits it.
Yeah.
It's further down.
he's not going to be the one to do that.
Right. Later on, Toby's girlfriend posted on her personal social media account that she was responsible for the post. The Spurs hired Toby as their new television play-by-play broadcaster ahead of the 24-25 season, replacing longtime announcer Bill Land. San Antonio signed Lindy Waters to a new one-year contract last summer. Toby, a native of Sandwich, Massachusetts, graduated from Suffolk University in 2018. Before getting the job in San Antonio, he interned with the Celtics and Patriots, covered sports on KJRH TV in Tulsa, worked as a weekend sports anchor at 9 News in Denver, and called games for Fox Sports and Pac-12 Network. The Spurs job opening is one of the more intriguing listings in sports broadcasting these days, as the San Antonio is coming off of a run to the 26 NBA Finals with its young core led by Wembanyama. So, but yeah, I just I don't understand why, like, he cheated on his girlfriend, and I'm going to say something that a lot of people aren't going to like, but like, so what?
I mean,
he didn't cheat on a wife. He cheated on a girlfriend. It's his business. It's not like, I mean, she's a player, right? Or a player's, a sister of a player. It's different than the Rossini who got fired instance, because Rossini was covering the team. She covers the NFL.
Yep.
And then they think, well, there might be some bias, or, you know, he can leak some certain stories to her that otherwise couldn't, you know, she wouldn't have, or things like that. That I kind of understand. But in this case, there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
No,
I agree 100%. I don't think it's, I think it's more people just want something to talk about and make themselves like feel better for whatever reason about themselves.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat as this. Like, this dude, yeah, he might, like, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but he cheated on a girlfriend. Like, who the fuck cares? Like, I am with you on that boat. Like, I don't think that was worthy of him losing his job, because if that's worthy of losing your job, there's a lot of other people out there that are definitely worthy.
Well, people were losing
fired.
their jobs for being total scumbags and saying Charlie deserved to die. And now those people are suing, and some of them getting even $1 million or more.
Yeah.
But this guy, you know, happens to like someone else and hadn't broken up with his girlfriend yet.
Yeah. I mean, part of me feels like, I don't know. Part of me feels like maybe one foot was already out of the door for him.
Well, let me ask this: would this have been a case? What if he wasn't in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
And he decided, or they decided, they wanted to date? Would that have been okay?
I would think so. Like, I don't see the big deal.
So is it the moral thing that we don't want this immoral person representing our organization?
I think it's the optics of it. Yeah, it's just them saving face and facing public pressure about it, which I don't know why you would feel pressure.
Who cares?
Yeah.
People say anything about everything.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, you look at my Facebook post that's blown up that has over 400 comments.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever had one. That's more than I get for my birthday. You know what I mean?
Well, what sucks too is that, like, nobody's going to really be thinking about this or even care or remember in like 3 months. But this guy, it's going to be a lifelong stain for him, unfortunately.
Right. And was he already on the edge? Did they not like his play-by-play? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did they think he wasn't doing a good job? And
even
this just gives him a good reason to kind of end it. There's
Yeah.
just not enough information here to really.
No, I agree. I think maybe even if that was the case, they didn't like the job that he was doing. I still don't see that as a professional way to fire somebody. Like, if it's performance, say it's performance. Don't be like, oh well,
Yeah.
he cheated on his girlfriend, so we don't represent that. We're gonna let him go. Like, no,
Yeah.
that's fucking stupid.
But I do have to say, dude, that the things that are said on social media have gotten so crazy and so out of hand, and especially these athletes, they don't realize that it's costing them in some cases millions of dollars. if we go back to the WNBA, we had she plays for the Chicago Sky.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I can help you out with that one.
Yeah. It begins with a D.
Yeah, I can. I actually have the score still pulled up, so I can say.
Player. Put player controversy.
Oh,
Chicago State. Skylar Diggins.
Oh, Diggins. Oh, okay.
So Skylar Diggins made some comments about her playing time.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still a solid player. She played well last year. But they have two other guards, and one of them was hurt, and they came back. And so she's getting less playing time. And so she decided to go on her social media and call out her team. Well, she should have waited about like a week or so, or 10 days or whatever it is, because there was a date coming up where her non-guaranteed $960,000 contract would become guaranteed for the rest of the season. And instead of waiting, she opened her mouth before that date, and they got rid of her because it's a non-guaranteed contract.
Well,
$960,000.
I hope it was worth it.
Yeah.
I hope you got your every cent worth.
Yeah. And then there's another one, Chennedy Carter. She's been like blowing her mouth off too. And, same thing, like she's become just a problem that, other teams just don't want. And it's not just women. I'm not hammering on women. Brendan Ayuk, the 49ers.
Yeah, Brendan. Yep. He's that dude's cost so much money.
Dude, millions.
Like we're talking almost triple-digit millions.
Yeah.
That he just threw away.
I'm so glad that Pittsburgh, I was hoping Pittsburgh back when he was first available would have got him, and we didn't, and then he got hurt, and then he hasn't done anything since he's been hurt, and he's just been like a prima donna. And dude, you had one breakout season.
Yeah.
You had one breakout season, and people would still be interested in you, but nobody wants this drama that you're bringing and, causing and throwing it out there and hammering on the 49ers. I mean, you had potentially, maybe they said Washington would have been interested in him, but there's just not going to be a lot of interest. And you could say people are blackballing you, maybe, but the truth is going to be they just don't want that unnecessary attention or kind of bullshit going on in the locker room.
Yeah. No, I think it's one thing to really like kind of there's multiple ways to go about this. You can do it through your agent, you can do it through yourself, but the thing is he's sullying the name of a pretty respectable front office, and then John Lynch, a very respectable GM. So it's not like, if this was a recurring theme, then I would be like, maybe the 49ers have something to look at, but it really, it's more of a reflection on him than anyone else, unfortunately for him. But that's what happens. Like, wide receivers are divas, man. Like, that's what they do. They just love fucking drama, man. I say that's part of the territory or the position and being at that level, but I don't know. He just definitely doesn't seem the same mentally. Like, he just seems like he went off the rails.
Oh, yeah.
And like a lot of analysts and former players have been like, I'm concerned about this dude's mental health. Like, legitimately.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a difference between AJ Brown and Ayuk. That Brown, said some things, but he wasn't like really extreme about it. And
he was very cryptic. He would be very cryptic in his ways.
And he's also got a Super Bowl ring. He's also done it for more than 1 year.
I was going to say, he's got an entire body of work that he can cite as well. So that's one thing Ayuk does not have.
And I don't think people were saying about that Brown. I don't think they ever really said that. I never heard any other players or rumors that he was a cancer in the locker room. I never heard that about him.
Yeah, I think the storyline that I heard the most about his time in Philadelphia, well, at least the end of it, was that things got sour between him and Jalen Hurts. That's like the most consistent thing that I was hearing. I don't know how true that is because like
Still had 78 catches and 1,034
yeah,
yards or something like that, just over 1,000.
yeah. I really don't think that was the case because you would see like subconscious plays a role. Like if Jalen Hurts was like, "Fuck this dude," he wouldn't have targeted him as much as he did. You know, maybe he's just that mature to the point where he can separate those things. But I don't know. Some like you're still human at the end of the day. Like those things can't show.
Exactly, and you got to be smart. You know, look, I can say whatever I want, and I can call women cunts, which I sometimes do on my social media. But, you know, I don't start out with that. What you need to look at is what did they say about me or say about Dawn before I did that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do retaliate.
Yeah,
But still, it's out there. But again, I'm not planning on running for president, you know, because you think, you know, some other people's stuff is pretty outrageous. They wouldn't like mine.
Oh yeah,
because it would be blown out of proportion. It would be
sure.
shit made up and like. But I get that. But I'm also not looking to, you know, I have my own business. I grind myself. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm not hurting another company, and I'm not even so people know, I'm not even hurting my business. You know, because those people that are, you know, being so disrespectful towards me, they weren't going to be clients anyways.
Yeah.
And if you read through and see some of the positive or comments, and you'll see some of them, many of them are my clients. You know, they already get me. They already know. And Jenny Flager commented on there, and you know, about she's following the comments. She's like, "Boy, this went off the rails," and you know, put a little popcorn icon up. You know, but I know that I do it as entertainment too.
Yeah, for sure. Know? I mean, that's what that's what social media is supposed to be.
Look, you can't have a serious conversation with somebody back and forth and share an opinion in comments on Facebook or any other social media. You're not going to change anybody's mind.
No.
It's just not going to happen. We all get in our little tribes and, you know, just take shots at each other.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, you know, but I don't shoot first.
Yeah, like when you argue with people, especially on social media, they're arguing like alone kind of just makes people dig into their viewpoints and what they believe even further. But social media gives them like that shield to where all they have to do is look somewhere else and they get that immediate validation. Whereas if you're arguing with somebody in person, you don't have that immediate validation. You're constantly having to try to defend yourself, quote unquote, defend yourself.
Yeah. And I don't care. They care more than what I care. Or they think somehow it's going to hurt me. Like you don't know my life and what I've been through, that is so much nothing.
Yeah.
But you're soft, and what I say can definitely cut. I know that. And I'll do that on purpose.
Well,
it just is what it is.
If somebody else throws the first punch, then they better be able to take one.
They better be able to take it.
I agree.
Yeah. But you got these athletes and stuff just got to be smarter. I mean, everything is related around social media. So people can like it or not like it, you know. What's that one daddy? Not Who's Your Daddy? What is it? That one podcast, that chick podcast.
I thought it was called Who's Your Daddy.
Is it?
That's the only one I know of, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Did you? I was reading a story about her and her company.
Shady?
I don't think that's her name.
No. I was saying, was it a shady story?
It was a story like trying to say that she was trying to come off as a, you know, new type of feminist that can talk about anything, including sex out in the open and just different things. But I seen the deals that she got with Spotify and other things. Dude, like it's well over $100 million.
Yeah,
And with
unfortunately,
and you're like, seriously, a podcast like that? I'm like, what the fuck?
it's because they glorify smut on there. That's pretty much what they do, and they want these girls that unfortunately they want to be whores, but they don't want to be held accountable for being whores.
Mhm.
That's like their main demographic, and if that's what they want, by all means, go ahead. But feminism, I've talked to multiple like feminists, like OG feminists, and they're like, yeah, that shit fucked everything up. Like this is not what I had in mind when I was
Right.
participating.
And then it sounds like her husband and there's another guy who's like the head of marketing, that those two guys basically run the company. And you're supposed to be like all this women empowerment. And in the end, you have two dudes running the company.
Calling the shots and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just so funny. Like, come on,
Yep.
man.
It's sometimes the jokes write themselves.
Crazy, crazy stuff, man. Um, we're just gonna stick with sports for a little longer, I guess. Dodgers. The Dodgers announced that they are going to meet the president again. They did it. They did it before, so why not? And then this reporter, Bill Platschke, I see him on occasionally. I don't really watch it, but I used to. There used to be that round table where they would ask different questions and they would get points and on ESPN.
Around the horn.
Yeah, Around the Horn.
I love that show.
Yeah, well, he was on there a
Yeah.
lot. Bill Platschke was on there a lot.
Yep.
And he just gives old men a bad name because I'm an old man. I don't want to be associated with that crap. He's just he's far left, as you'll see when we go through this a little bit. But Bill Platschke invoked Jackie Robinson and Ice Rage to pressure the World Series champions into canceling their visit. There is one player, I believe, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, that is not going and announced that he's not going, which I think is fine. I don't think they should force him to go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But this idea of outside people telling them or trying to force them not to go is bullshit. If it's something that they truly decided as a whole team, that they weren't going to go, that would be one thing. But I can tell you, if I was on a World Series team, if I had won the NBA title, if I had won a Super Bowl and I'm on the team, NCAA national championship of some kind, and I got invited to Obama's White House to meet the president, I would have gone. I would have gone. Why? I mean, that's how many times do you in your lifetime do you get to even go to the White House, let alone go to the White House and meet the president? I don't have to agree with what, and I didn't, it was policy issues. I have no issue with Obama's color. And, people want to turn it, liberals especially, want to turn it out that way, that the only reason that any of us didn't vote for Obama is because we're racist. And that's just not the case. That's not even my top 100 reasons for not voting for him. And I could come up with 100 reasons,
Oh yeah.
But definitely, even Joe Biden, I'd went even to meet Joe Biden. Now, I'd kind of think it was funny that he, I'd probably get to meet him and he'd never remember shaking my hand the next day. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Joe, remember when the national championship team came in yesterday? And what national championship team? Yeah,
The kids, they climb on my legs and they pull on my leg hairs. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, what did he call him? Corn Pop?
Yeah, something weird.
Like that.
Yeah, very weird name.
Very, very weird. So weird. For many liberal sports reporters who make up the vast majority of sports media, unfortunately, the worst thing a championship team can do is visit the Trump White House. What does that say about sports? I mean, we already know that most of the media is liberal, but most of the sports media is too.
Unfortunately, yeah. I hate to admit that, but yeah, I would say that it vastly outnumbers like non-liberal sports media. Vastly, like not even close.
Bill Plaschke calling the Dodgers tone deaf and considered them accepting the invitation of the White House to celebrate the World Series championship insult to their fans. Well, I got news for you, Bill. Everything ain't about you. And everything is not done for the fans. They earned it. They went on the field and earned that championship. And they got an invite to meet the president, and they accepted it. And it has nothing to do with anything else going on. It doesn't have anything to do with policy of immigration. It's nothing to do with immigration. It has nothing to do with any other racial things, the LGBTQXYZ community, because that is big in the Dodgers area. The Dodgers in San Francisco, two of the teams that and I don't know if you followed it or not, but one of the pitchers, I believe, for San Francisco that had written on his hat had a bad game recently.
Yeah, Loop.
And they're like all over him, like that's because you spoke out against the LGBTQ and you deserve that, and like,
hell,
dude,
no.
it's so stupid, dude. They're
That's
still hanging on to it, man.
Yeah, I know.
They're still hanging on to it. I got news for Platsky too. He says there's a large percentage of Dodgers fans that are Hispanic. Guess what? A large number or percentage of the Hispanic community voted for Trump. Bigger numbers than ever before. Hispanic people are typically, in their lives, very conservative.
Yep.
Very family oriented.
Yeah, very much so. 100%.
And Catholic.
Yeah, I was to say religious as hell.
So why in the hell do they insist on embracing a person trying to tear the city apart? You know what tore the city apart was a fire that now that people that had lost their homes, regardless of whatever wealth they had or didn't have, aren't able to rebuild their homes there. And we're a couple years later now and things like that. So there's a lot of things that have been tearing the city of LA apart. And it has nothing to do with the Dodgers.
Yeah, how about all the protesting where they just destroy local businesses and people are severely injured and fires and homelessness and this and that? Like I could name literally 1,000 other things tearing Los Angeles apart.
Yeah.
Than this.
Actually, I would be, if Gavin Newsom was allowed to run for California governor again, I don't know if he could win. I don't think he would be beat by a Republican, but could he be beat by another Democrat? I think that'd be a possibility.
I think so too. I don't know who it would be, but I think there is such thing as fatigue, no matter how good of a job that you do. Like some people will just
and he's not doing a good job.
Yeah, so he's not doing a good job. He's been around for a while. I could see like people wanting a fresh face, ideas like that new turnover.
Yeah. Sadly, though, a lot of that new turnover is these Democratic Socialists of America that are just, When people want to tell me that socialism isn't communism, I just know that you know absolutely nothing about history. And I really never thought that would become a thing again in this country like this, and that people believe it.
I agree with you, but there is a very, very far corner of the internet that I happen to just come across every once in a while, and I don't agree with it, but it's just nothing but communists on there. Like people that think that, like basically the Soviet era was like the way to do things of communism, and that's just fucking batshit crazy.
There's this one dude that comments, and I just love to just meet him in a dark place. That comments on my social media sometimes. I just deleted it because, dude, I don't want to deal with you. I don't have time to deal with you. You're a nobody. But there's also this group that tried to come off as conservative or